Hello and welcome to another one of my vlogs. Thanks ever so much for joining with me today on our Talking About Jesus channel. I have with me once again Milo there in the long grass as we enjoy once again the gorgeous countryside that we live in around us here in Hadley in Suffolk. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do that. It would really help us get known, and would also help you in the future to find us, especially if you click the bell, and then you'll get notifications of future material that's posted onto the channel. Well, today I want to talk to you about a crop here on my right hand side. And it's called field beans. It's a crop that farmers put into the ground to give a rotation and to give a break for their land. It puts different nutrients back into the soil, and farmers here in East Anglia would generally grow a rotation of maybe 2 or 3 years of cereals, winter wheat or winter barley, or even spring barley, and then they would break that up every 4th year with a crop like this, field beans or peas maybe, or all-seed rape. That's that crop with the bright yellow flower in April and May. And they do that in order to stop disease building up, particularly in winter wheat and in winter barley, because they don't want that to happen. But it enables different nutrients to get back into the soil, and it helps future crops. So this is what we call field beans, and until a couple of weeks ago it was full of gorgeous blossom, and the smell here was just magnificent. There is 1 or 2 blossoms still just in the field, but hardly anything now, because if we can see here carefully, we have got some beans beginning to form. Now the bean is about the size of a pea, maybe a little bit larger, very hard. It is edible to us as human beings, but mostly it's used for animal feed, and also pigeons love it. Pigeon lovers buy this for their pigeons and feed it to them because they love that crop. And today I want to talk to you about a couple of verses in the Bible, in the New Testament, about the words of the Lord Jesus in Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 and 29. And in those words, Jesus invites people to become his followers. He often did this, inviting and encouraging people to become his followers. And he said this: "Come to me, all you who are weary and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Now, when Jesus says, "I will give you rest," he's not talking, "I'll give you a break," necessarily. But what he is saying there is that you will find in following him a lack of restlessness. You will find that peace and joy and purpose that maybe right now you cannot find. So Jesus invites us. He invites you that are broken, those of you who are weary, those of you who are heavy laden, those of you who are struggling. And he says, "Come to me and I will give you rest." And what Jesus is talking about there is a spiritual rest, a rest from the struggles of this world and all of that. Now, by saying that, Jesus didn't mean we'll never have a problem. We would never face illness. We would never face temptation. We would never have problems with our finances. No. Jesus is saying, when you come to me, you'll find a rest. You'll find a place of safety and security and shelter. And that's really important for every one of us. And then in verse 29 of Matthew 11, he says, "Take my yoke upon you, put it on, and then you will find rest for your souls." Now, Jesus there is talking about something that in his day and age was very familiar. Probably as he spoke these words close to him, there were oxen working in the field, and those oxen would have been tethered or joined together by a yoke. It would have been made of timber. Maybe Jesus himself made such a yoke when he was young. Remember, Jesus grew up as a carpenter's son, and he grew up in a carpenter's working place environment. And as he worked there, I would be pretty sure he would have been involved in making yokes for the local farmers, because agriculture in those days was very preeminent and very, very important, and the people around him would have come to them as a family and to a business, and they would have asked for yokes to be made for their oxen, for their cattle. So Jesus knew exactly what he was talking about here when he says, take my yoke upon you, and then you will find rest for your souls. And Jesus is saying in this that by taking my yoke upon you, you're putting something on to your life. You're inviting me into your life, and that yoke is going to help you. Jesus would have known that when an oxen is joined to another with a yoke between them, harnessing them together, that their pulling power would be far greater. So Jesus is saying there that I want to come and I want to join with you. I want to lead you. I want to strengthen you. I want to guide you. I want to help you pull forward in your life, to transition from the brokenness to wholeness, to transition from the restlessness to rest, to know that in following me, you can know rest for your souls. And that's really important for us, particularly in our Western world where we rush here and there. And one of the benefits of the COVID situation was people took time to stop and to listen to themselves, to their bodies, and they've made adjustments because they realized they were running around like headless chickens. And actually, I already begin to see people beginning to do that again, having lost sight of the things that they learned through that period of COVID. As awful as that period of COVID has been and continues to be, and Jesus says, put my yoke on. And I want to say this to you, that yoke, when we put on in Jesus, will fit us perfectly. I don't know if you've ever worn clothing and it hasn't fitted you properly. You put on too much weight, or maybe you've lost some weight. Maybe your jeans fall down to your knees. Teenagers seem to do that, and that's called fashion apparently. Or maybe you struggle to put your jeans on, or put your jacket on, or tie that belt up properly anymore. Jesus just simply says to us, come to me and you'll find rest for your souls. And in me, you will find something that the world can't give to you, can't in any shape or form offer to you, because all that the world offers doesn't last. It lasts for a little while, but then we get restless again and we look for something else. And we want something else. And that doesn't find us any joy or give to us any real peace and purpose. And then we move on like a rolling stone. So Jesus wants to simply say to you and to me today, come to me. I will give you a rest, a spiritual rest. Put my yoke on. It fits perfectly. By putting my yoke on, you'll be able to do so much more. You'll be able to move forward in my peace and in my purpose and in my strength. So I invite you today to follow the Lord Jesus Christ. If you've never done so before, then invite him into your life. Trust him to forgive you from all that you've done wrong in your life, and ask him to come in. And he will, and he'll give you this rest that I'm talking about. He'll give you this peace, he'll give you this joy, and he'll give you this purpose in your life. And that's really, really important for you to know. And put that yoke on. Put his yoke on. Don't put anybody else's on. Put his yoke on. It will fit you perfectly. It'll help you live out your life here on earth. And then you'll know what life is truly all about. Jesus said, I have come into this world to give abundant life. Wonderful news. And that life is for you and for me. We need to hear his invitation and receive it for ourselves. So thank you for watching. A big thank you from Milo and from myself. Yes, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and click on that bell so you get future notifications. You all take care. Every blessing. We'll see you sometime in the future. God bless. Bye.